There's not a moment to spare. It's quite a drop from the top. So how you feeling down there? It's a cold, cruel, harsh reality. Caught, stuck here with your enemies. Who do you think you are? Tearing us all apart. Where did you think you could go? 'Cause everyone already knows it's 20 to 1. Yeah, so you better run. You got the world on its knees. You're taking all that you please. You want more, but you get nothing from me. You like the burden we bear. You love the hate that we share. You want more, but you get nothing from me. But enemies, enemies.
We are off the heels of a pretty memorable payback, to say the least. And of course, this is indeed Raw Reaction covering here first. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am Nate the Effing Great, joined here as always by the man himself, the myth, the legend, the one and only AJ Jensen from Smart Money Podcast. How you doing?
Pretty good, except for I can't understand a damn word you're saying.
Well, that might be for
all I hear is mop, 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 mop.
Well, that might be the fact that my voice is a little bit iffy tonight, but
That's better right there.
all right. I moved that phone a little bit closer and I moved my head a little bit closer, but either way.
Yes.
So Monday Night Raw happened after Payback. I would say pretty decent Raw, to say the least. I don't know. What were your thoughts?
And that's about it. I did like the main event. I thought that was pretty cool. I like what they did there. Payback for me was weird. I liked everything up until the House of Horrors. And then I was just like, what in the shit is this? And then that just kind of like took all the wind out for me. And then watched a couple other matches, and they finished the House of Horrors, and it's like, there's got to be at least one fucking smart person that works for this company to know that when they aired this segment, it says live in the corner, but they were in what? San Jose?
Yes.
I believe?
Yeah.
So, they led us to believe that it was pitch fucking blackout in San Diego, California at 6:30 at night. In the summertime, springtime. No. Big no to that. And, apparently somewhere along the lines between getting a refrigerator dropped on him and showing up back to the arena, Randy Orton had the time to stop and shave somewhere, which I thought was weird. So just, yeah, like that whole thing was just a big fart noise for me. The only good thing that came out of it was Bray Wyatt got the victory. Other than that, yeah, Payback was pretty decent, but that just was like a huge turd in the middle of that show.
Well, I don't know if I would call it a huge turd, but I definitely think
turd.
Well, okay, you have your opinion, I have mine, and apparently mine is no good. But in all honesty...
No, the match was no good.
well, it was like I was saying last night at the review, is that I think what killed the momentum, other than some of these small, details that you mentioned, was the fact that they made it seem like it was like the Luke Harper, Dean Ambrose street fight that they did, where, they started the matchup and then they just continued on, like it didn't even happen until, randomly, oh, they're back, and they just continue on from there. It just doesn't make sense to me to just, have one of those kind of deals where it's like, oh, we're starting the match here, but then we're going to insert this other match here while you guys are waiting, and then we'll finish it up just a little bit later. It just, I don't know, it just doesn't work for me like that.
I mean, you hear the name House of Horrors, and you think, awesome. Now, what I was picturing in my head was something along the lines of, what was it? It was Raven's old match in ECW and TNA where he had all the weapons hanging from the steel cage.
Raven's Funhouse or something like that. It was something along those lines.
Like that. Like a combination of that and like Dean Ambrose Asylum. Like something like that. Maybe like a Hell in a Cell with weapons hanging from it all over the place. Like something like that. I didn't actually expect it to be like out in a actual house, which now apparently I saw is for sale. It's like $36,000.
I saw that article. Yeah.
You have some remodeling to do, but I didn't like that it was broken up either. I will say the only good thing about that is the break in between, because it wasn't all together. I enjoyed the stuff that was in the ring a lot better than I think if they would have just kept going, because I got a break from what the hell I just saw. But I knew, I don't know, I didn't listen to everybody's picks. I only saw what was posted. I picked Bray to go over Randy, only for the simple fact that they are plugging the hell out of this Jinder Mahal title match at, what is it, Backlash?
Yes.
Well, I'm sitting there thinking, like, if he's got this House of Horrors match and it ends in the ring, what a perfect opportunity to go out and make a statement. And, of course, that's exactly what happened. And then Bray picks up the win. But, yeah, I don't know. That just, wow. They dropped the ball there. They could have had something really good. And there was nothing... the coolest thing about the House of Horrors match was the tractor starting up and driving by itself. I think that was it. And that was probably my favorite part.
Well, I think
there's nothing scary. There's nothing horror. There's nothing scary about that house. It was just a dirty house with dolls hanging from the ceiling in one room. So I didn't really... it's a wasted opportunity, I think.
Well, I don't know. I thought it had a little bit of a what's this movie? Texas Chainsaw Massacre feel to it. I'm probably thinking more like the remake, not the original, because the original was pretty much more scarier than the remake.
I will say to that aspect, yeah, like I did like the production value that they put into that. And I think, honestly, they could probably make one hell of a horror movie with Bray Wyatt and, with shit like that. I think that could be cool. But I just didn't like the mixture of, that in wrestling. I don't know. But, let's get back to Raw.
Yeah, all right.
I didn't get to record with you last night because I was super tired and I pretty much went to bed right after Payback.
And you know what? Honestly, I would have taken your tiredness and your mild hungoverness over our new champions ranting and loving life and blah blah blah, where he just legit.
Well, this is just one of those things that sometimes the good outweighs the bad. I mean, your apartment burns down, you win a world heavyweight championship. It's just kind of how it works. I mean, let's call it what it was. It was a fluke. It was the clouds parted, a beam of light shined down from heaven and said, Spencer, we're going to give you something good right now. And that's all it was. It had nothing to do with Spencer's talent or him being awesome.
And so lives the phrase, #SuckItSpencer. So, all right, let's finally get into Monday Night Raw, which kicked off in probably the best way possible, and that's with the Alexa Bliss coronation for her winning the Raw Women's Championship last night. Just a beautiful segment where Alexa Bliss comes out and talks about her accomplishment and almost thanks every single one of the women in the ring, talks about, how Mickie James was a big inspiration. I really loved the whole Nia Jax segment where she just goes up to Nia and just says, you know what? We're good. We're good. You're talented. You're great. There's a reason why these women are just jealous of you. We're good. It's just one of those things where it's like, if David and Goliath were just to just talk before the fight, and David would just be like, you know what, dude, hey, we're cool, right? It's like just this little person just coming up to a bigger person, and it's just so funny. And then of course Alexa Bliss does some trash talk on Bayley. Bayley's heard enough, and we get into our first matchup, which is an 8 women's tag match. Basically, Team Babyface versus Team Heel. Is that the best way to describe it?
I can't hear you again.
I was saying the first matchup on the card, basically Team Babyface versus Team Heel.
Oh yeah. Well, just to go back to what you were saying with how Raw started. It definitely started blissful. I love everything about Alexa Bliss being women's champion. She now has made history. She has done something no one else has ever done, that being SmackDown Women's Champion and Raw Women's Champion. So that's something pretty cool that she can, it's a nice little feather to put in her cap, or a buckle to put on her outfit, or whatever the hell she wants to do with it. But I just think that's a cool thing. I don't know, the segment was cool. I didn't really care for the match that followed. I just kind of thought it was blah. I don't know.
Well, what's interesting is that I think that this shows, the kind of talent that Raw has in their women's division compared to SmackDown. I thought, oh wow, they actually put in Alicia Fox. They brought out Emma. They brought out Dana Brooke. It's like, okay, they actually have talent. Are they going to use it? Probably not, but, hey, look what you have to work with, right?
Well, they do. They do have a lot of talent, and I think that's probably the main reason why Charlotte went over to SmackDown, is to kind of, to shake that shit up. But I thought Raw had the better talent pool as far as the women's division before the Superstar Scramble or Shake Up or whatever the hell this shit was called. And I still think that they got the better deal out of everything. So, I mean, good for them, I guess. But, yeah, they are pretty stacked when that comes to that women's division. I just can't wait until Nia Jax gets that title, because, Jesus, she's a beast.
Yeah.
I take that back. I can wait, because I want Alexa Bliss to hold on to it for a bit.
Yeah, I could see Bliss holding on to it for a few months. Not I want to say her last SmackDown title run, where it lasted about where it did last about basically a month. They just okay, we're gonna put a belt on you.
Well, that makes sense though, because Naomi had that injury that, it was long enough where they're like, okay, we're not gonna keep the title on you, but she was gonna be back soon enough. We're like, okay, we can just put it back on Alexa Bliss till WrestleMania.
Okay, that actually does make a little bit more sense now that you mentioned that.
Because I think it was one of those things where she was only gonna be gone. She was gonna be gone for such a short period of time, where it's like, okay, let's go back a month, and then we'll put the title back on Bliss. Naomi will come back at Mania and take it, and then we'll literally pick up right when they were going to pick up when Naomi won it the first time. So I kind of think that's how that went down.
More than likely, but we digress. Next that happened on Raw was Enzo and Cass basically talking smack about the club. Club comes out, beats him down. And we get the same recipe of Luke Gallows versus Enzo Amore, where Luke Gallows picks up the victory with the fireman's carry into a flapjack finisher for the 1-2-3. Man, they're really just milking out this whole Enzo and Cass versus club thing, aren't they?
Yeah, and it needs to end. I don't know. I'm so over Enzo and Cass right now. It's crazy. I never thought I would be, but I am.